tried to get a Congolese man fight for them. He refused.
They even told us, like, we are going to give you guns and you're going to fight for Ukraine. I said, hi. We're going to fight for Ukraine? We are not Ukrainian. We are black. So how can we fight? How can we fight for Ukraine? If we fight for Ukraine, we are going to die first because we are black. When they will say, oh, look at those black people, I think they are from they are from NATO. So we have to kill them first. So how could they think that way? Come on. Ukraine.
What it do? This is your brother Bishop of Bishop Zone TV, and I'ma just jump right into this whole Ukraine-Russian thing, but not from the perspective that the Western media is putting on, but more from the African perspective, because the Western media is choosing to ignore the mistreatment of African people in Ukraine. Yes, because as you all know, the Western media is clearly siding with Ukraine, and they want the whole nation to side beside or side behind Ukraine. Now, honestly, this is just how I feel. I'm not for war. I'm not for, innocent people losing their lives. Of course I'm not. I mean, I'm a sane human being that, hey, in a perfect world, we could all get along and nobody would lose their lives over rich people's beef. You know what I mean? I am all about peace, and I'm all about finding resolution. There's straight out warfare, genocide. However, I know propaganda when I see it, and this is their beef. I don't have a dog in a fight, to say the least. Like I said, hey, I'm not for bloodshed. I'm not for people losing their lives. I'm not for innocent people losing their lives. However, the straight silence on mistreatment by Africans, I cannot sit by and watch that happen. Now, I'm gonna touch a couple of angles on this, because it's a lot of sides on this topic. But one thing's for sure, I will make sure that I spread the message that our African brothers and sisters are being mistreated. Now let's go to number one. For those, let's just get this out the way. For those people who are claiming FBA, ADOS, who find some kind of glee and enjoyment in seeing Africans, especially, mind you, a lot of these continental Africans that are over there in Ukraine are students. If y'all get enjoyment out of seeing our brothers and sisters be mistreated, and hey, you are what you are. If you look at my other videos, you already know how I feel about FBA and ADOS. Pieces of corn on shit. You know what I mean? I'm not saying if you subscribe to that, but if you subscribe to that and then you find some kind of joy or some kind of, I told you so, we ain't helping y'all. Where's the empathy? Of course, you don't have empathy. You can't see past your block. You feel with so much emotions and so much rage, so much anger, resentment over some exaggerated half-truths that you're not willing to empathize with brothers and sisters who are being oppressed, no different than how we're being oppressed here in America. But then those same group of people want you to say, hey, we don't have any friends. We don't have any allies. We all we got, which is bullshit in my opinion. Let me just say, side note, when the George Floyd protests started popping off, you started seeing support from all people of African descent globally. In many different parts of Africa, in different parts of Europe, you've seen people protesting right alongside African Americans' plight, what we go through in this country.
They knelt on the ground in silence, just like protesters in the US. These members of the Economic Freedom Fighters opposition party staged a protest on Monday outside the US Embassy in Pretoria. They came to denounce racism and police brutality in the US and in South Africa. Apartheid ended 26 years. In Kenya, protesters drew parallels between police brutality in the US and in the East African nation. Kenyan police have been involved in the killing of at least 15 people since authorities imposed a nighttime curfew in March to fight the coronavirus.
We are sick and tired of the police brutality. We want justice for everyone, regardless whether in Kenya, all over the world, LGBT, anybody, Black Lives Matter. We just want justice. There's no need of violence. Nobody needs to be killed. Nobody needs to be beaten.
There was also an anti-racism vigil in Ghana this weekend, attended by Ghanaians and Americans.
There's stuff going on in my country, in America, that I'm standing up for here in Ghana tonight with you all, because you all are with us and we are with you. We are all Black people, we are all African people, and we're just demanding respect, unity, justice.
And you mean to tell me you find joy out of African people being mistreated in Ukraine? It ain't about why they over there. We're talking about young people. These are young people too. I'm in my 30s, all right? These people are, these are young kids, man. They went to Ukraine to get a better education, or so they saw fit to. I'm not here to question why they're in Ukraine. That don't matter. We just need to raise awareness to the situation and put more attention to it, because we are the news. We are the media outlets now here on YouTube. Let's get that out the way. Number 2, I got to talk about Western media's coverage. Now, I'm not surprised. Nobody should be surprised. I'm not even mad at that. Like, why am I going to be mad at a dog for being a dog? If it bit me because I stuck my finger in the fence, I'm going to be mad at myself. So I'm not upset at Western media showing their racism and their white supremacy propaganda. It just is what it is. I'm actually glad that they're showing their true colors, no pun intended. But what I do find a little funny, if you may, if you must, is Joy Reid and some of the black people that they choose to put on MSNBC and all these so-called liberal. Well, ain't no so-called, they are liberal. I only say so-called because liberals and Democrats are supposed to be friends to black folks. But Joy Reid, who is one of the biggest puppets of the Democrats, this is what she had to say.
Created an opportunity for disinformation and for fracturing the united support that there has been for the Ukrainian effort.
We are already starting to see the fracturing across social media, where people are saying Ukraine is racist, so why are we supporting them? Or Ukraine is a white country, this is a white problem. And that fundamentally misunderstands Ukrainian history.
I'm sorry, it's very emotional for me because I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed, children being killed every day with Putin's missiles.
Ukraine is a multicultural, multi-ethnic country.
I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair.
The military there was very mean. They were just so mean to us, like as if we were no humans. No food, nothing. So they started chasing us away, hitting us with wood. And even, you can see they even hit my leg right here.
And we have to keep that at the forefront. And yes, these videos that we're seeing at the border are horrifying. We have to be very careful with how we frame this question, but also to the extent we allow our emotions drive our responses, because Russia will take advantage of this and use it as the disinformation, as we have seen with the George Floyd protests in 2020 and we've seen in the 2016 election.
And you know, what I've said is that I want to hear from, you know, the African Union. I want to hear from specific countries that have students. And folks out there, listen to official information that's coming from these nations, not to somebody with lots of numbers after their title on Twitter. I want to hear from, you know, the African Union.
Now, the African Union's responded to mounting accounts of Africans being mistreated as they try to flee Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The African Union said that singling out Africans trying to escape war would be shockingly racist and called on all countries to show the same amount of empathy to all victims of the conflict.
I've been saying this on social media. If you are an African or Indian or Roma resident of Ukraine, the best thing to do right now is to stay put and try not to cross right now, because, I mean, this is a war zone and it's only going to get worse.
Absolutely. And anything bad that happens to somebody of color at those borders will immediately be picked up by the Kremlin and used to try to bolster their utter failure thus far to try to take hold of a country that doesn't want them.
Here's my issue with Joy Reid. I don't know her personally. Hey, she might be a cool sister. But when she gets on MSNBC, god damn. I mean, the world's greatest tap dancer when it comes to the Democratic Party. They can do no wrong. No wrong. I mean, she has spread misinformation, has spreaded all kinds of propaganda dating back to the elections when she had no shame in attacking and dividing, or being divisive towards black male voters and black female voters, all in the name of making sure that Joe Biden secures the election. Like, this is who we're talking about. Joy Reid. Now, after seeing this, look, I understand not jumping to conclusions, but there's more than enough evidence out there now for her to say something and use her platform, which, correction, it's not her platform. She's just a puppet. It's MSNBC's platform. But if she was about that, like she claims she is, then she would use that platform to inform the people about what's going on, especially considering this sister's half Congolese. She's half Congolese. So she, you know, how do you live with yourself, sister? And I can almost see the look on her face, like she's dying inside. Like, come on, roll some balls. Roll some balls, sister. I'm just saying, but no, this is pathetic. This is pathetic. This is why I really, she's one of my least favorite people when it comes to these platforms. Like I said, I expect that from the lesser complexion, and I expect it from black people too that get on these platforms. They're not letting any old body. That goes for Don Lennon too. They're not letting no a real authentic brother and sister on these major Western media platforms. They're just not going to do that. That's her job. But damn, when it's staring you right in the face, why must you keep up the lie? And I'm also going to use this to call out real quickly because it ties into the West propaganda in the Western media, in the Western world's mistreatment of black people globally, and how we aid in that mistreatment, not only of ourselves here in America, but globally. Because while America is telling us, hey, Russia's the bad guy, and I'm not suggesting Russia's good white folk. I don't have a dog in the fight. I know they might get me targeted for whatever reason, but I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm worried about what's going on here directly that impacts us, but I'm also worried about what happens to black people globally, African people that happens globally, because what happens to them there happens to us here, whether you like it or not. With that said, I gotta call out again black people's infatuation, and I'm talking about black people that represent the so-called status quo. The Joy Reids, these black democratic politicians, or these black analysts who are nothing but shields for the Democratic Party. I mean, the lack of self-respect. Y'all are failing the people. Y'all are failing. That's why I say you don't talk about immigrants. Don't talk about such and such. Talk about the political representation of our people in this country. They don't do anything but continue to shuck and jive for the Democratic Party. And you see it right here. They're so busy hooting and hollering for Joe Biden as Joe Biden co-signs Ukraine against Russia. Yet, again, these same political figures won't say anything about the mistreatment of black people. Because they won't even say anything about the mistreatment of black people by these democratic policies. They can easily call out the Republicans. We clearly understand. Look, I'm not a black Republican. I'm not a black conservative. I think if you claim, just honest opinion, if you claim you're a black conservative, or you claim that you're a black Democrat, then you're still stuck on a plantation. That's just my personal opinion. Neither party gives a damn about you. That's just my personal opinion. Leave the plantations. All y'all, leave both of them plantations. I digress. But I just had to call out this just love affair that the black status quo, the so-called black status quo, I don't want to call them black elites, but it's a lot of older people, unfortunately, that are partially responsible or largely responsible for why we are in the state that we're in today. Not distancing self from accountability, but I'm saying these black political figures in this country that are supposed to represent the people are still bending over for the Democratic Party, who is largely for the party which doesn't benefit black people by and large. And again, it's not benefiting black people globally when they side with a government and a country who has shown that they have a complete disdain for black people globally. And I just want to say before I leave, I'm not implying that all Ukrainians are against African people. I don't know. I like to be fair and objective. I don't know. I've never been to Ukraine in my life. So I don't know if this is a countrywide thing. However, I do know that the military, the government hasn't been particularly fair to our brothers and sisters. So I just wanted to share this, man. Y'all like and subscribe. Y'all spread this information, man, because the Western media is not going to spread it. And a lot of people don't, they won't know it unless you spread the information and make people aware of it. So until next time, like and subscribe. Holla.
To go home, and they are telling us, first of all, they increase the price of taxi. Who pays almost 2 million naira to go back to Poltava, a 2-hour journey? Anybody that is hearing this, from Kaduna to Abuja, 2 hours, you are telling me to pay 1 million naira? That is not all. We said, okay, we are going to pay it. Now you have locked us in this hostel. Why? No, seriously, guys, what did we do wrong? What did we do wrong? We just came to study medicine. We haven't showered in 3 days. Yes. There's no light in the hostel. There's nothing. We cannot. Everything is running out. This place is not safe. Every single day, some of us have mental trauma. We can't even hear doors closing without someone running. Yes. Someone is moving a box and we are running. It's not fair on us. We have. At any amount, we do not care what they have left. Now they have decided to go and block that route. At this point, I don't know what is going on, and we are not going to be used as baits. Please, let us go. Please, let us go. We do not want to be a part of your war. Please, thank you very much.
Давай, ты хаваешь его? Ну ты его хаваешь и все. Да? No problem. Хаваешь? No problem. Ну хавай. Хавай.
Прекратите это делать. Прекратите это делать.
Быстрее.
Прекратите это делать. Прекратите это делать.
Ну, дальше.